Hi, I'm Ontresicia Averette.
And I'm Carolyn Wiggins, and we'd like to welcome you to The Color of Success, a show where we motivate, showcase, and celebrate success, culture, and creativity of ordinary people. And we also discuss real issues. Tonight's show is one of those shows where we're going to discuss a real issue.
What's the color? I need to know what's the color. What's the color?
We're going all the way back to the continent of Africa. We're talking about Sudan, its history, its culture, and its lost boy. Let's take a look. In 1983, President Jafar al-Nimeri imposed severe Sharia law on the entire country of Sudan, which alienated the predominantly non-Muslim South, Christians, and Dinkas, causing the bloodiest, longest-lasting civil war in the history of Africa. Approximately 26,000 children, as young as 4 years of age, were violently forced from their tribal villages, mainly boys. They ran into the surrounding forest, ultimately gathering together to make a long journey by foot to a refugee camp in Ethiopia. In 1991, the communists overthrew the Ethiopian government and forced the young boys to leave at gunpoint. They traveled 1,000 miles by foot to Kenya seeking refuge at the Kakuma refugee camp. They arrived alone and parentless and was given the name the Lost Boys of South Sudan. Today, we humbly introduce to you an author and global activist for human rights, Mr. Manyang Kher, the Lost Boy. He's here to share his story with us today, his story about his journey from a little boy in the refugee camp. He comes to us to share with us more about Sudan and the children of Sudan who was lost for almost 20-something years, over 20 years, from the 1980s into actually 2005. And this is a situation that may become real again to them, where they are in the midst of a civil war just after becoming an independent nation only 2 years ago. And so we have here Mr. Manyang, and we want to talk to you about your experience as a lost boy in the refugee camp there in Kenya, starting from Ethiopia. Were you one of the children that were basically chased from your village at gunpoint and had to run for your life? Can you tell us a little bit about that?
Yes, I was one of the group that called Lost Boy of Sudan. It's basically, you say the word before, it's basically orphanage children who have no parent, home, and lost everything. The word Lost Boy was brought to us by journalists, and that's how it come from. You know, I was chased from my village in Akobo, which is southern Sudan, to Ethiopia. And then some of us make a move to go to Kenya, which is called Kakuma refugee camp.
Yes.
So I actually go from one camp to another for 13 years. And I lived there for 13 years in that refugee camp.
13 years?
13 years, yeah.
Do you remember how old you were when you left, when you were taken from your village?
I separated when I was 4 years old.
4 years old?
Yeah, yeah.
That's so early. Did you have any understanding as to what was happening to you at that time, and how did it happen? Did they just raid the village and snatch you, or did you flee with a group of boys?
Well, from the background, Sudan has been war many times, from 1800 to century before I was born, because the way economic work and all this kind of issues. So
sure.
I never really know the meaning of why they're at war, but it's just that the northern part of Sudan and the southern part of Sudan fight each other.
Sure.
So in that war, people from northern Sudan come and raid my village where I was living at, and that's what separated me from my mother and my family.
So were you part of that journey, that long walk?
Yes.
You were.
Yes.
And can you tell us who took care of little, you were a little baby in my mind at 4 years old. Who, were you taken care of by the other boys?
Yes, it's everybody, because it is starting from 3 years old to 15 years old. Because I think the other soldier may not decide to kill them, or they just chase them up to run away.
Yes.
And then so we walk, a lot of us, from 27,000, and then the number end up to be 20,000. I mean, 7,000 people die along the road.
Wow.
So it's a lot of them have died and killed by lions, tiger, hyenas, all Africans animal that can kill you along the road. So
What did you all eat in this journey?
we eat mud and leaf from the tree. Some people even drink urines from other friends, because there was no water. You will
water.
find water sometimes, and then when you walk for desert, there's no water. And people will carry that water with a small container they have, the water be out and run out. So it was a long journey.
Did the first journey from Sudan to Ethiopia, how long was that journey? How long was that walk, and how long did it take you all to arrive to the camp?
Well,
in
it's
Ethiopia?
over a month,
Over a month.
because people was fighting along the road, because they say, how long could we walk? How
Yes.
far could we walk? A month, a year, how long?
Yes.
So it took a several months to get to Ethiopia, and we didn't really know that we go. Ethiopia is another country
Yeah.
by itself, and then we reach there, we have to have a passport, we have to have all these things that we didn't know that. We just
Yes.
thought that, well, you look on the rising sun, which is where the sun come from. So we see sun every morning, we follow the suns, and that's where we get to Ethiopia, and that's how, yeah.
I have a question for you.
Ingenious
Did
is that.
this other country, did they open arms and invite the Lost Boys in, or was there a problem when you went to another country to try and get in?
Well, there was no, because nobody knew there was going to be a lost boy at the same place at one time. They know there's war in Sudan, but nobody knew that a group of children will be live alone or without parents, so without somebody taking care of them. So nobody know that. So when we reached to Ethiopia, Ethiopia was only country that know that.
Okay.
And when the news come out, and then everybody, oh, there was a group of children that just comes, and some of them don't know their name, so it become a news, and then the journalists come and interview people, and they come up with the word "Lost Boy of Sudan."
Wow.
I
So-
see. It's said that most of the little girls died with their parents or were enslaved. Were your parents and female siblings killed?
Well, I just met my mother in 2012 after 21 years of separation.
Wow.
Yeah, it was. My father died. I was killed because of that war. But Sudan culturally, they don't, either they take the women to sell to slavery, or the older men take the girls and keep them for themselves until they grow to be older, and then they can make them their wife, or they can give it to somebody else, get married, exchange for dowry or something.
I see.
Yeah.
So they're worth money.
Yeah, they're worth money.
see.
But boy are trouble, because nobody, they say that, well, if you kill a boy family and you keep them, they can kill you in the ends. So they can keep the girl and change their perspective and do something with them. So most girls were taken, sold into slavery, or keep as servants, as
Yes.
domestic servants by the northern part of Sudan. So that's what happened.
Did you, my heart, just talking about this subject, even researching it, I was in pain, really,
Wow.
when I imagined you all crossing, trying to cross the river Gilo.
Killer.
I heard that
Yeah.
many little boys drowned or were eaten by crocodiles. And at one point, you all got so tired of walking that you just sit down
yeah.
and just stay to be eaten to be prey for animals,
Yeah.
because it was just too much. Do you remember anything like that? Were the older boys packing you and
I do remember, because I remember everything because all the lost boy that live in that's what we are known for that because
Yes.
our life become based on that.
Yes.
Because many people are try so hard and to find their parent back from Sudan, they have a hard time. You know, a lot of them, some of them, actually lucky of them, found their family. Some of them found that their parent was killed. Some of them found that their parent was actually go to be another refugees in another country.
Yes.
And yeah, it was, you know, it was one, you know, walking that you don't know where you're going to end up to, and you don't know where you're going to. You're only a child.
Yeah.
You're only a little child, so you go into some places, you just, people help you, and people at that age, they scare because no food
Yeah.
and no water, and you don't care anything. So when you're just walking that road, you only pray that, you know, maybe we can find our parents.
Yes.
Next step, maybe we can find. That's the only things. And also, what makes people run so fast is there is an animal that chases from the back. So first group, when they reach that place, they want to sleep. Then the last group want to run to be in the middle. So that group, when they run into the middle, and then other group was running and running and running, and then the first group going to be the last one, and then they're going to run. So that's how it works. So
But did you build a connection, a camaraderie? Did you all
yeah, we become, I mean, I don't like to say we become brother, but we become family that,
Of course.
you know, all of us live at one time, and all
Of
of us
course.
know each other. It's just a group of children. We fight, I don't know, we fight for no reasons, and we, one children, over 20,000 that you
Yes.
put in one place, and they all children. It is just harder.
So tell me, when the communists, I mean, when the Ethiopian was taken over by the communists, and they kicked you all out of that Ethiopian camp, and there you were on the run again. How many years? What was the gap in years between Ethiopia camp and Camp Kakuma in Kenya?
Well, it takes you because at that point, journalists
We're a
had
little older.
already know that there's a lost boy in camp.
Okay.
So when the refugees when Ethiopian, the government of Mengistu was fighting and overthrow, so we are forced back to Sudan again.
Okay.
But when we go to Sudan, we also want to go to Kenya because Sudan is no longer served again.
That's right.
So we leave from Sudan, we go to Sudan again, and then to Kakuma, which is Kenya. So before we reach to Kakuma, the UN agency know that, you know, the lost boy may be coming along this road. So that was a help.
Oh, good.
Not from the beginning, but that was help.
Okay.
Then, but the original walk was the hardest part. Then,
Wow.
Yeah. Then
That's
the,
great.
yeah.
So the living conditions there in Kenya at the refugee camp, was it okay? Did you all get to eat?
No, it's not because you only eat one meal a day.
One meal a day.
Because that's
Just to sustain you.
Yeah, they
Stop you
only
from
give
dying.
the camp is like you put in this room, and somebody sit in front of you and tell you can't move here and you can't move here. Well, we're going to give you a little food you can eat, but you are not allowed to go this place, and this is your area. You get tired, and also, you know, a lot of people live there for a long time. There's no educations.
Yeah.
There's no, it's just a place where you only want to live because the only last thing you have is your life,
your life.
or that choice,
Wow.
or be a refugee.
So I understand when America heard about the intolerable living conditions there in Camp Kakuma, that they were able to come and rescue over 4,000 boys. Are you one of the lost
Yes.
boys that was rescued at that time?
I am group of the 4,000
Good.
who probably can say that were settled by the U.S., the State Department. 4,000 of us that
Yes.
was brought, but that was 20,000. So
Initially.
Yeah, so there's also
So only half, I just need
Yeah.
to say that only
Yeah.
half of them actually made the
Yeah.
last trip from
Yeah.
Ethiopia to Kenya.
Yeah.
And then only
4,000.
that was 10,000,
Yeah.
and then only 4,000 was came to America.
Yeah.
So I understand that you're here today because you're very concerned about the new crisis that has hit South Sudan.
Yeah.
Can you tell us a little bit about that and what you're trying to do?
Well, in December 15th, which is last 2013, we went to war against. And this war is inside the Southern Sudan themselves.
Okay.
The government had its own political agenda inside Southern Sudan, and then people fight again.
Okay.
So now there's 500,000 has been displaced against and forced back to be refugees.
Oh my God.
And the starvations, I just read a New York Times a week ago, they said that 50,000 children, if there was no help from United Nations or somewhere else, they may die of hunger because there was no food.
And so you have come back to be the father to the fatherless children of today by helping them raise money for food and vaccinations and all. You want to tell us a little bit about your nonprofit organization and how we all can get involved in that and make contributions?
Yes. The Human Helping Sudan goal is to help with the land right issue.
Okay.
Help refugees help themselves. And our goal has been all this issue that, you know, those who cannot have a home, who cannot have shelter, and doing that, we were lucky enough to get farm from Whole Food Market. We get a land so we can grow our own food there, and also we can build wealth. And that's how the Human Helping Sudan work about.
Great. Can you give us your website address to your organization so that our viewers can take a look at that website and get more involved in the cause in Sudan, in South Sudan, and in helping these young people, young boys, mainly probably, who are out on the run again. They are in need of our help. We're like the richest country in the world. What can we do about that? So can you give us the website address?
It's humanityhelpingsudanproject.org. humanityhelpingsudanproject.org. And you can go on website and donate whatever you can, or you can just be somebody that promote the projects, and that's
We really admire your tenacity, your will, your motivation to do what you're doing, to come to a nation like this and not forget about the people in Sudan. And we celebrate you, and we celebrate your success and what you are trying to do here. And for our show, we have a little celebration ceremony. And I know today we usually toast with a little champagne cider, but we're doing something special to celebrate Sudan. You want to talk to us a little bit about the coffee ceremony, and we can get started with that?
Yeah.
What it symbolizes?
Yeah, it's basically, coffee is originated from Ethiopia.
Okay.
And that's where it first began started.
Okay.
So it has been a traditional where people get together to find peace.
Okay.
And I don't know, it's how to show it. It's just people come home and then they just talk and
You'll
get
serve us?
Drink
Yeah, of course.
Great.
I can serve it.
So,
I mean, it's
no,
basically.
I will pour it.
You okay?
And then we have a board over there. Carolyn, you could talk to him about our board.
Manyang, we also have our guest sign our canvas.
Wow.
That's the canvas standing right there. I have a box of many different markers.
Wow.
And we want you to pick one of the markers or the chalk and use the color that represents your journey. And
Wow.
we've put whatever you want on our canvas because we're going to keep it forever.
Because we want a part of you. We want a part of you with us.
Wow.
Would you like a marker,
Sure.
or a crayon, or charcoal?
I
What would you
don't
like?
know.
Okay, so he picks green.
Green.
Okay.
Okay.
Sign our board and
Whoa. Okay.
We will always have a piece of you with us.
So just
and we'll
sign
remember
it?
your journey. No,
Whatever
you
you
can color.
want.
You
You
can
can
do
color.
whatever you want.
Okay.
Because
Right,
it represents your
tic-tac-toe.
spirit. It's the color of your spirit.
Okay.
The essence of your spirit.
Cool.
So,
cool.
okay.
And while you're doing that, we'll open up the cakes
Yeah,
and
of
we'll
course.
help celebrate.
Okay, go ahead. Go ahead.
Of course.
Ew. Ew. Very cool. Thank you
Because
so
I
much.
put my name, so.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Can I just ask you why the color green?
I just love green because I walk for many miles.
Excellent.
And I walk in
That
the.
makes sense.
I
Yeah.
got it.
Yeah.
Excellent.
There you go.
Oh.
And there you go.
Thank you.
And we'll toast
Oh, cool.
to Sudan,
To
its
Sudan.
culture, its history, and its success.
And
Cool.
peace.
And peace.
Peace. Okay.
We're talking about Sudan, its history, its culture. Let's take a look. Sudan is one of the largest countries in the continent of Africa. Located south of Egypt, its rich culture and advanced civilization has made a major contribution to human civilization, theological studies, and ancient history. Said to be the seat of Ham, the son of Noah, Sudan is known for its great kingdoms of Cush and Nubia that once rivaled Egypt, Greece, and Rome. At the height of its military power around 750 BC, the ancient kingdom of Cush in northern Sudan ruled over Egypt and Palestine. Historians call it the inauguration of the rule of the 25th dynasty and its black pharaohs. In 2005, Swiss archaeologist Charles Bonnet discovered a Nubian city in Dukigel with original African architecture from around 1500 BC, and in a cache, he found 40 pieces of 7 monumental statues of black pharaohs. The American archaeologist Richard Loban Jr., along with his colleagues from Russia and Italy, uncovered an ancient and previously unknown Meroitic temple in the area of the island of Meroe. The orientation of the temple has the sun directly pouring into the temple twice a year, suggesting that it was dedicated to the ancient Egyptian sun god Amun. Ancient Meroe, known today as Bijrawiya, was the second capital in the kingdom of Cush from around 300 BC to 350 AD. It was a major center for iron smelting, earning its nickname the Birmingham of Africa by historians. Meroe was often ruled by the queens of the Nile, known by the title of Kendakis, and they boast scores of pyramids. The Candace Amani Renas led her army into battle and defeated 3 Roman cohorts, and the Candace defaced the statue of the Emperor Augustus Caesar, bringing the head back to Nubia as a prize. The Nubian queen Isis was immortalized and worshipped as a god for centuries throughout the Sudanese kingdom, Egypt, Greece, and Rome. It is said that all gods were born through Isis. She is referred to as the mother of all gods. Although Sudan won its independence from Britain in 1956, colonization and Muslim rulership polarized the country into North, South, and West Sudan. After Sudan's independence, the South Sudanese were omitted from the economic systems because of religion and race issues.
Helping Sudan. He has made it his life's passion to improve the lives of millions of people. Manyang Reath Kher.
Young leader stepping forward, and that's exactly what Manyang already done.
Manyang Reath Kher for drawing on your own experiences to help displaced refugees with Humanity Helping Sudan.
From all of us here tonight, you're a true inspiration, and thank you for sharing your story. Ladies and gentlemen, Manyang.
Until next time, I'm Ontresicia Averette, and this is The Color of Success.
What's the color? I need to know what's the color.